Hello, precious mamas and mamas-to-be. This is your host, Ilka B, with the Liberated Birth movement.
Another myth. Pregnancy over 35 is dangerous.
Ooh, and risky. That's what they tell you. And this is pretty close to my heart because I'm a pregnant mama right now and I'm 37. Just turned 37 last week. So, when they call me geriatric, that kind of offends me a little bit and insults my feelings. And I'm sure this, does the same to you if you're over 35, because that doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden a failure and your body all of a sudden became a failure. So that's the problem with that. When they tell you over 35, you're automatically at risk. You're being put at the category high risk. And that brings a whole plethora of issues with it, because that means for you a lot of more testing and monitoring, and all of that testing and monitoring then leads to you having more worry and more fear about your pregnancy. And instead of being more confident, as you should be if you're over 35, you're actually being worried and afraid of it. So what they don't tell you is actually that most women over 35 are pretty solid in themselves, not just emotionally and spiritually, but also, financially. They're often in more solid relationships, and they take better care of themselves. And nowadays, that's this decision for a lot of women to just set themselves up pretty well and then decide to have a baby. So it's not necessarily something bad. So what they tell you as well is that you have more risk of birth defects, and that's why you have to do all this genetic testing. And yes, there is an increased risk of having a baby with Down syndrome, but the risk is very, very minimal, and you can actually, if you're really trusting your intuition, know if you're okay and if you're not. And you also need to know, would I make any difference if I have that information? Would I actually abort my baby if I would know there is some birth defect? So all that genetic testing doesn't really lead anywhere. It only leads to moms being insecure about themselves, thinking they're a failure, and being more worried. So what can we do about this? Well, surround yourself with like-minded other mamas and mamas-to-be that are, a little bit older, and take really good care of yourself and really trust your instincts, really connect to your intuition and see how you're feeling, instead of listening to an outside source to tell you how you need to be categorized and which routine test and procedure you now need to do because you overstepped that artificial boundary of being 35.
Please follow the Liberated Birth movement on Facebook or subscribe to our channel. If you have more questions how to apply these ideas to your pregnancy and birth, schedule a call and we'll get you clear on what you want and how to get it. Meetme.so /liberatedbirth. Meetme.so /liberatedbirth. Always remember, birth belongs to women.